Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Pele Yoetz. Today we're talking about refinements, and we're going to get right into it. It's a relatively short chapter, so it starts out and it says, "It is known that the entire coming of man into this world and all of the exiles that we suffer is for the purpose of refining the sparks of sanctity that have been scattered among the outer physical shells. This is the fruit of our prayers, mitzvot, and study, and for this a person should have intention. Likewise, a man should have the same intention with regard to eating and drinking, and all of the oppression, pain, deportation, and forced conversions that the Jewish people have endured in the exiles. All these things are a great benefit for this matter, and therefore a person must accept it with love. This is because everything is nothingness compared to loving God and to the providing of satisfaction before the heavenly throne. There is no greater satisfaction than this refinement, because all of the souls and sparks of sanctity are a part of the divine spiritual entity. To what can this be compared? To a king whose children are cherished ones who were taken into captivity and are imprisoned in a narrow, dark, and languishing place. Great is the suffering of the king. The person who redeems the sons of the king is bestowing an incredible kindness upon the king, and he will surely pay him a reward. Similarly, one can imagine to the extent of our understanding the connection to spiritual refinement, and there is more ancient wisdom to discuss on this topic. So now it's well known. I think many people know. If you don't know, there was a shir that I did recently. It was called "The Last Anusa," and there was also an article that came out in Mishpacha. And this concept here, I remember when we were speaking to the rabbi, because we had this unbroken lineage of Judaism, even when I didn't know it and I was pursuing a conversion, it was funny because I remember that is kind of the way they saw us, that we were kind of stolen. But it's funny because we're talking here about the intention of your mitzvot and all these things, and it really is to redeem these sparks. Not only from Adam Harishon, it's we're recuperating all these sparks and all these sufferings that we've gone through. They help to unify the sparks, and in doing so, it gives great pleasure to the king. And can you imagine? You imagine that your child has been stolen, and for you to go and do what it takes to bring that person back. What a blessing and a gift it is to HaShem. And surely there is a great reward for anyone who will return such a precious thing. And that spark is like something that was taken from, I don't know that anything is ever really taken from HaShem, but it is something that we're returning to HaShem. So we have to have that intention when we're eating, when we're drinking, in order to redeem those sparks. So we're going to continue on. It says, "From this, one can understand how great is the evil of the sinner, especially in regard to the wasting of seed, which causes the outer physical shells to oppress the holy souls and the sparks of sanctity to sink further into the depths of the shells." And the shells, really, it's klipot, that's what it's known as. And it says, how much pain does such a person cause to a Kadosh Baruch Hu? And the divine presence, behold, those souls are like locked up prisoners, and they plead with the voice of one mortally injured. So very serious. And the divine presence screams, "Would that my head be like water and my eye like a spring of tears. I will cry day and night on behalf of the fallen of my nation." And that's quoted as Yirmiyahu 8:23. About them, David HaMelech said in Tehillim 79:11, "Let there come before you the moan of the imprisoned. According to the power of your kindness, free those who are condemned to death. And due to this, man should tremble and faint. He must run to do any mitzvah and flee from sin. He should be very careful regarding blessing over physical pleasures. Through the blessing, the refinement is done to the food. Therefore, he must be extremely cautious to say them properly. If he is not meticulous, it is his own soul that he harms, and all of one's actions should be for the sake of Shemaim, on condition that he manages his commercial affairs with justice according to the Torah. Then the herald of salvation will sprout forth quickly in our days. Amen. Yehi Ratzon." So it's true. I think it's if you're, a Bali Tshuva, it's really something to work on. If you have children, I think this is the great time for you to really be impressing upon them the importance of saying a bracha properly. Sometimes we Baruch Hashem, we're like, we kind of like mumble through, and we have to be very careful, especially when we're picking up the divine sparks, especially when it comes to food, because if something has, a spark is fallen in that food, the way to redeem it out is through the bracha. So it's very important, to not only get the bracha out, but to say the proper brachot after, which kind of helps in releasing out all of the waste. So very interesting. Sometimes, you get into these things and it's makes the hairs on your arm stand up. Just I don't think we really realize that, how easy it is to cause damage, but on the other end, we don't realize how much reward it is to, to do these things with intention, how great it is. And certainly we should all strive to do these refinements, to try to come closer to Hashem. And of course, as the golden rule is, wherever a person wants to go, Hashem will lead them. And Shemaim says, Amen. So if you are looking to get closer to Hashem, He will help you on that. If you're looking for the derech emet, the road of truth, He will also help you with that. So I hope I leave you with those words of encouragement. But that's it for today, and I hope we'll be all together again soon. Bezrat HaShem.